LLoLP podcast.
You did do it fast and loud.
I did do it fast and loud. We have the semi-finals of the summer split of the LCS 2019 today.
Semis.
And boy howdy, was it a little bit really backwards from what we called it to be.
How was this week, Anthony?
I was
this week
surprised.
of semifinals? How was it?
To be honest, I am surprised.
Yeah, correct response. I think everybody is.
I would have been a little more surprised if CLG Gaming had pulled off that turnaround victory, but
no,
alas.
You're right. But like, we watched that series together, and I don't know if you remember all of the things I was saying, but some of them included, "Wow, I'm very anxious. My heart is beating really fast, and I don't like it. What's happening? I can't play another game, guys. I'm going to die." I was losing my mind. I'm not joking.
You had no stakes in it, and you're still losing your shit.
I had no, because it would have been such a good story. My stakes in it were the narrative, and it would have been a great narrative.
If I could have bought a Clutch shirt to wear on the show after they won,
you would
have done it. I would have done it. With the
I would have,
logo,
but we didn't have enough time.
I also didn't win, but
yeah, but I would have. So I would have fucking overnighted it. I would have gone out to the warehouse and picked it up myself.
Couldn't even overnight it. Sunday's not a business day.
Dude, I'm making it a business day for this. I don't care about it, dude. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it for Clutch. Anyway, that game was crazy, but we'll get to it in a little bit. I think the first topic is C9 CLG.
Yes, yeah, yes it is. Wait, no, I had the wrong week. That's bad. So C9 versus CLG happened. And boy, oh boy, was that one a lot more uneventful than everyone thought it was gonna be?
It was very uneventful. I was surprised how hard CLG gave up in the first two games. I don't remember which it was, but in one of the two, Freak was literally yelling like that doing? They weren't.
They're just standing there.
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, he was like, "You're just losing. You have to grow a backbone and fight, because you're gonna lose if you do nothing. You might as well try." And that was totally true. It's something that a few teams have been criticized for during the regular season. A sort of like pushover.
Sorry.
Yeah, a pushover. It's okay. A pushover kind of gameplay where you just give up. And I mean, CLG gave up at least one inhibitor, maybe two, and two Nexus towers, while 5 CLG members were alive in their own base. They didn't fight. It was crazy. I did not get it. I didn't get it. You know, they came back a little bit, but
they had one game where I'm just like, okay, maybe they can do it. Then the game right after, I was just like, I was lied to. I have been deceived. Spencer's the MVP.
He is though, and that's
so. I came into this thinking this was gonna be the closer of the two series, and we were both proven quite wrong on that fact. But I'm looking at the CLG's picks, and they seem so passive, and I don't know why. Do you know why it was so passive?
No.
Oh, I didn't even notice in game 2 they roll swapped Power of Evil and Ruin. Why?
I don't know.
It didn't work. Whatever their plan was, it didn't work. So, I feel like there's a lot of mid laners who really suck at Akali and still pick Akali. Did you corroborate that feeling? Because even though I saw Jensen play it, and Jensen I want to say he hard carried a game, but I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure Clutch just chucked the game right at him and he took it and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see a lot of these players being all that good at Akali. Do you see anyone who you think's good at Akali?
Jensen when he got 6 kills early. But that's because you didn't have to be like, I know. I mean, I don't think Jensen is trash at Akali, but I definitely don't think that that's like the safest pick. It's like a huge gamble, and we saw it backfire in one of the games. when he just couldn't get the ball rolling early like he had in the other few games. And they had a rough time with it, right? Like, I think Akali is a fine pick. It just needs, like, capital N, needs to get ahead. And if it doesn't get that early lead, it's in a lot of trouble. And I think that's true with a lot of assassins. And you know my opinion on assassins. I think I'm stealing this from Skara, that most assassins basically should just be counter picks. He probably, I don't know if he still believes that. He said it a long time ago. But assassins, in my head, really should just be specific counter picks, right? Like, and Akali just being picked blind because it does a lot of, like, it's so risky because it feels like there are so many things that do really well into it or go even with it or deny its ability to roam, to get off. It just doesn't seem like a super safe pick, especially in a best of 5 to get to finals of the LCS. It paid off for them, but that doesn't mean it was smart.
Speaking of assassins and priority picks, Kiana has been showing up a lot, actually, as a pick for Niski, Power of Evil, and Demonte. Ugh. So, what do you think about Kiana? I've been looking at her, and she's had a lot of power, and like she's just been growing in power in the LCS ever since she came out. She first came out, I think Demonte was the only one who played her. I think he went 1-1 on her that weekend when he played her, but it just didn't seem to be that strong. But now it's looking like it's insane and like it will just destroy people. There's that clip of Demonte just killing double after 100-0 from Fog in the other series
when he was Kaisa, and Demonte was Kiana. Double lift walked by a bush that had a pink word in it and just got friggin' popped. He had cleanse up and they're like, what are you doing? And it's like on the replay, it's like, oh, even if he cleanses that, he's dead. Like,
you don't even see it coming. It's hard to cleanse something you don't see coming.
Mm-hmm. It's very hard to cleanse something you don't see coming. And on top of that, even if he cleanses it,
there's two more spells heading at his face.
Yeah, what happens? He's still, like, yeah, he's not rooted when he dies, but he's still dead. Like, oh boy.
So, another thing I'm noticing is that CLG have been banning Yasuo against C9 a lot. Do you think that's going to come up in C9's next series? Do you think that they're going to try... They're either going to have it banned against them a lot, or they're going to try to pick it out again with the Gragas Yasuo mid-jungle combo?
I really, truly hope they don't try it again. Will they? Maybe. Should they? I don't think so.
I'm just saying, Renekton mid's an option.
I would prefer you to stop talking.
It's just good. Look, it's just such a.
I think C9 has looked a lot strong. I think C9 as a team has looked a lot stronger when they're not doing that really weird niche shit. When they're actually just playing their game. But who knows?
Does Kiana have a 100% win rate? I think she does. I think this weekend she had a 100% win rate in all the games she was picked. Kiana's broken. Who knows? So, still sticking on the mid lane champion, Sylas has been another pick. I don't understand why Sylas is still being picked. But I guess this is a patch back, so they can still have the jungle flex, and because you can't, and 9.16, his jungle clear got nerfed to basically the dumpster. So, you can't play him jungle anymore, but you can now. So, do you think he's still worth this pick priority? Because he's been pretty good pick from what I can tell, and it looks like Niski and Jenskin can both probably play him pretty well, and I'm pretty sure Svenskeren and Smithy can play him. I'm not as confident in Smithy though.
What do you think?
That. What do you mean? What do I think?
I mean, you asked me the last 3 questions, so I was just letting you start this time.
I just said what I think.
Fair enough. I was hoping you'd go longer so I could have more time to think about it. Here's what I think. Okay. I think you're right. I think it's for sure these 2 mid laners can play it. I think it's almost certain both junglers can play it. I don't think that either jungler is prioritizing it necessarily. It doesn't seem... When I think of these guys, it's not the first champion I think of. But they're both LCS junglers on 2 of the best NA teams. I'm pretty sure they could fucking play it if they had to, right? But I'm not sure if it's going to have priority. I think it's situational. but I would not be surprised if in certain circumstances that are not necessarily unlikely that it would be busted out.
So what should we be taking away from the series for C9?
The CLG series?
Yeah, the CLG C9 series.
Whew, gosh. They looked like they had a strong game plan going into their games, and they followed through. Their lanes played well individually, and they played really, really well as a team. And they had some really, really strong macro game movements, even though part of the early winning and early lead in the series seemed like it was just CLG rolling over. If a team rolls over, you can still look sloppy, right? And C9 did it. So keeping that sort of unit, that moving as a unit, that working as a team in the macro game sense, sticking with comfortable, consistent drafts, I think that's really what the takeaway is here.
So one thing that I saw as a glaring issue was that when they did pick a very macro game heavy champion like Talia in game 3, that's when they fell apart, when they stopped being able to like control the macro game. They even like, it's not as if the top half of the map for CLG was being all that strong, because Ruin was only 1-5 on Jace. So they're basically relying on Svenskar and Sneaky to be able to carry on Rek'Sai and Draven, and both of those champions actually fall off a little bit late game, and this game got to 41 minutes. So I'm thinking that they actually might be on a clock for themselves, and they might not be able to play the late game macro comps. But at the same time, I don't know if TL is very good at late game macro comps either. Now, to be fair, the final game was 48 minutes.
Yes. Well,
but they had a Kled, and I'm pretty sure Kled is kind of broken.
Do you actually think that?
Oh, Kled's really strong right now, and you're running Kled, Gragas, who actually falls off a little bit, but Silas, Sivir, and Rakan.
Sivir, I don't think Sivir falls off, though.
I don't think Sivir falls off. I think she scales pretty linearly. But that's a really, really good engaged team fight. But I don't know. It was a pretty close game, not gonna lie.
It was.
But it just...
But that's because CLG stopped just quitting, and CLG's actually like a decent team. Like, I don't expect C9 to go into TL stomping.
Like, even looking at game 4, I can't look at the goddamn graph. No, okay. Even just looking at game 4, CLG got 2 Barons in that game. And it was mostly down to small errors as to why they couldn't, like, close out off of those 2 Barons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at who was it? Was it Optic who got 4 Barons and still lost?
Like, it was Optic and the CLG that got 4 Barons and did not win the game.
Like you should be winning. If you get 2 Barons and you don't end the game,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. But at the same time, if you give up 2 Barons and you don't lose the game, that isn't a mark for you. You still gave up 2 Barons.
That's a mark against the other team for just throwing.
They also C9 also got 2 Elder Drakes. So they had to resort to Final Elder to win that fight. And I was just sitting there watching. I'm like, there's no way they end up getting both of these Drakes and CLG doesn't engage on them until they kill it. And they kill the Drake and they're... okay. In that last game, CLG really lost, I think, because they didn't engage around that Drake hard enough when they had Jarvan Orianna and they could just go right in the back line. Also, I don't think, again, back to the Akali thing, I don't think Ruin's very good at Akali, and whenever he hit the back line, he had to leave instantly because he was just going to die. He couldn't, hit anybody.
Yes. I think that Akali is a weird pick, and I hope we don't see a lot of it moving forward unless it's like a counter. I think that Akali has some good matchups. I don't know what they are. I just imagine that they're out there.
Jensen might be the best Akali left, but I still don't think his Akali is that amazing unless he gets inted 4 kills before 10 minutes.
And that is very specific, and that's just, I think, almost any champion's going to be crazy if you get 4 kills 4 minutes in, right? Like that's just a really big spike, and that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like people complaining about the 17 kill AD carry just two hitting them, and I'm just like, what do you want? He's so much gold.
But dude, a Taric would two hit you with 17 kills, dude. If it built damage, like it's just that's how it is, right? You gave them a lot of gold, they're gonna do damage.
Oh, now I want to make a new account and go play Tark top and just build damage. Just start Trinity Force.
Please don't do this to me, dude. I do not want to be responsible for that being introduced to the world.
Shall we move on to the spicy games?
Yes.
Oh boy. Alright, so I was going into TLCG thinking it was going to be a quick 3-0, and I'd be like, alright, we're going to watch the series, it's going to be real quick, real done, and then we're going to go play some games. That didn't happen. We sat in chat for like 5.5 hours, just like, oh my god, they're going to do it. Oh my god, they almost did it. They almost had us, but they just missed. They just missed, and I'm sad.
Okay, so we were playing TFT in the between games, right? Like we would queue, and then we would like watch the game. TFT, it's like pretty easy. To
I played
play
TFT with a blindfold on. It's an RNG.
Yeah,
game.
well, it's pretty easy to play TFT and watch a thing like that, in my view. So we were watching, and then Game 5 comes up, and I'm like, dude, I can't queue. I refuse. We had a friend there who doesn't really watch TLCS. I was like, I'm sorry, but you guys can play without me, but I need to see this. And I do not know. It was insane to me. I expected, look, I called 3-1 TL, you called 3-0. I didn't think it was going to be a close 3-1. I thought they were going to have a lucky win. TL was going to get cocky. There was going to be a slip-up.
Someone's going to pick something crazy.
Someone's going to do something dumb or go off for no reason. And then all of a sudden, we're in Game 5, and I really don't know who's about to win. Like, we're loading into the Rift, and I'm like, oh, Clutch Gaming, a team that I did not view highly at all 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, I actually could see beating one of the best teams in the world right now. And that
you sound CTL a little high there.
One of the best teams in North America right now.
Okay, sure. There you go. That's good. That's
and
a good
so
one.
to see that turnaround, I was so fucked up, dude. I was like losing my actual mind. Oh.
So if you watch this game, if you watch the pick ban of these games, you can really see the progression of how TL figured out Clutch Gaming. Now, to be honest, they should have figured this out before the match started, because even I knew this was a thing with them. I didn't know it was quite this, like, these picks were quite that strong with them, but by the end of it, it's like, yeah, you got 3 bans. You banned Rumble, Kiana, and what was the other one? Rumble, Kiana, and Gangplank. You ban those 3, and you don't have to care. And it's just, they can't do anything with it. They don't have any more priority picks. What they end up doing is they end up picking Tristana and Karma. Man, that was a good team. Let me tell you. Tristana top with Karma mid. That just, it blew my mind when they picked that. That was so amazing. Oh, and they gave up Sona Tark in that last game too. That's how you beat TL, by giving them Sona Tark. I would have just, I don't know. I would have left up Xayah, because I don't know why you're banning Xayah. Like, who banned Xayah there? Why? I don't understand these Xayah bans. I don't understand why people think Xayah is that strong.
I kind of do, because she's kind of fucking insane.
I like, she's not. Sivir's up.
Is Rakan up? I don't remember.
Rakan's up. They only banned Xayah.
That also might be the reason you banned Xayah, because like you can still pick Rakan without Xayah, but he loses a lot of strength. I still like Sivir Rakan as a lane, but I think that's got a way lower priority and there are way better options. But it might just be like we don't want to ban Rakan, because I think Xayah's better without Rakan than Rakan is without Xayah. Actually, it's probably not true. It's probably the other way. I don't know. It is a weird ban. But who knows, dude?
I mean, they banned it for... Yeah, they banned it for the previous 2 games, but... Why do they have... Lyra playing Xayah? Is this game just wrong? Yes, that was just wrong. Okay. But I don't feel the priority on banning Xayah alone. Yes, you do leave. That means you're leaving up Xayah Rakan, but they can't pick both Xayah and Rakan if they're blue side. You will always. I shouldn't say you will always, but yeah, yes. You'll always have an option to pick one of them before the other team do. So if you really want to break that up, I would actually just pick one of them. Just pick Rakan. Like, I don't get it. Why are you going with Tom Kench, Sejuani as your first round picks? That's just, you just picked your tank line, and for some reason we have Tom Kench, who is I do not think Tom Kench is that good right now. I feel like,
dude, I really think he's pretty good.
I feel like the changes to his ult made support Tom Kench a lot less powerful on rotations. It requires him to basically be like, it's really hard for him to be able to move across the map outside of going from like the inner tier 2 turrets to each other. Like that's as far as he could really go. Maybe he can go mid to Drake once, and maybe he can make a close play in lane to just grab a kill out, but I still don't feel like you do that and you leave up Sona at the same time. I don't think you even bother leaving up Sona for double if you don't have a like, this is how we beat Sona Tom Kench or Sona Taric. I don't think you should be bothering to leave it up. If you need to have a counter strategy to that. It's the same reason why Team Liquid banned Rumble, Kiana, and Gangplank. It's because they're so good at those champions. There's no counter. Like, they're just going to do well on it, and you have to outscale it to beat it, and that's just very hard to do.
I agree. It was odd for me because, yeah, it's like, it's not even like it's uncommon knowledge that double lift and
that's the meme.
The
meme is that's how they win games.
Yeah, like it's really. I mean, even an analyst and the casters were like, "Yeah, these guys are probably the best at running this in NA right now."
In the world is what they're saying.
Yeah, and that might even honestly be true. Like, yeah, double lift hates it, but just because he hates it doesn't mean he's not fucking good at it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's really good at it, and if you don't have a way, you know for sure you can pop that bot lane open and get an advantage or beat it. Why are you leaving it up? You know they're crazy at it. You know it's hard to beat. You know it's oppressive. You know it's hard in the mid game. You know it's hard in team fights. You know it means free things like free Barons because they have infinite HP. Like,
and they have Trundle. Trundle doesn't die. Yeah. Impact doesn't die. He's on Aatrox.
It's a team that's extremely hard to kill. And like you said, TL did the right thing. They were like, these champs are really good for them, and we do not have a way to beat them. Or at least we do not have a way to beat them consistently enough that we are leaving them up, so we are banning them. And that's what you do. You don't just say, yeah, pick the thing you're the best at. That's crazy.
There's another clip that hit Reddit of Jensen using his package to try to kill somebody under CG's tier 2.
Yeah, I remember we watched that live. We both made comments about it because that's when the Karma got the kill, and we were like, how?
Oh yeah, because then he goes flying because he gets knocked back by like Tristana. It flies all the way from that turret to blue buff. It was a mile, and then just pops over dead, and oh my, that was the funniest play of the whole series.
I still
think Tristana's garbage. I still think this is an awful pick. I hate soloing Tristana. It sucks. It's kind of safe, but if you fuck up your jump, you're screwed. Like, what are you gonna do? And into Aatrox, who's just gonna farm on you and like beat the crap out of you. I don't know. Clutch Gaming's team comp just looks so to me. It just you could have picked two better picks.
I completely agree. It is very and it's just like game 5 of semis is not where you go like, why is Huni on Trist? Is this like some like, oh, we want to catch him off guard? Why is Demonte? We were talking about this while it was happening live. we were both frustrated with the draft because we were like, what are you doing? Right? Like, this is game 5 of semis to go to finals when you're like, what, 5th seed, and no one thought you could even take TL to 5. Like, you're picking Triss top. Like, is it good? Probably okay. Is this the time to bring it out? Like, God, no. Like, what are you, like, pick something you've got. This is new to the meta. Pick something that you've got experience on.
It's not just new, it's not good. Like, Tristana's win rate is garbage. Like, I don't see why people keep picking this. I'm tired of these, like, these scrim picks that people get, and they're like, oh yeah, it's crazy in scrims. I'm like, I don't care. If you can't play it on stage, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm gonna throw this shit at you every time you do something stupid like this, and if I'm gonna keep being right about it, I'm gonna keep doing it, because it doesn't matter what happens in scrims anymore. Honestly, I want to know what happens if teams just stop scrimming and just actually just play solo queue all the time.
Nothing good.
Nothing good, you're not wrong. I just want to see what stupid shit, but I want to go back to Season 2, back to the good old days when all the practice was solo queue. I'm the Rain Man now. We're gonna play solo queue, because that's the best way to practice.
It's definitely not. I mean, I don't know what to say other than it's definitely not. Like, but yeah, dude, I have no idea.
Look, closing thoughts. Clutch Gaming brought a hell of a series.
Way better than either of us thought they would do.
Yeah.
I remember during our last pod, you were like, why did you give them 3-1? What the fuck? I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice. You're like, I'm not 3-0, dude. And then they go to 5. No one saw it coming.
I feel like they threw it all away with that last draft. And that's the only thing I'm going to remember about this series is the fact that they could have had a better draft. What?
LMFAO Jensen's Flame. Anyway. Extremely good.
Oh my god, did you see the flame at the end too?
No.
Oh my god, at the end he said, she asked him, Avli asked Jensen, what message do you have for your C9 teammates who you had to face next week? He's like, well, I'm sorry I couldn't bring C9 a trophy when I played for them, and I hope to continue that trend.
That's funny, dude. Dude, you live or die by it, dude.
Live or die by the flame. Okay. Next topic. Team Liquid and C9 have both locked slots for Worlds. Regardless of how this final starts off, they both will be going to Worlds. One of them will get the first seed, one will get the second seed. First seed's first place, of course, as we all know. What do you think?
Yes.
Do you think that they are ready? Do you think that they're going to be prepared? Are they gonna do well? Is C9 gonna survive without their third seed starting buff? Which, yes, I think we still have, yeah. The only team without a third seed buff is China. Because China gets to start with 2 second seeds. No, they get to just start. Yeah, I think they just have 2 second seeds now. I don't remember. So Matt, how's C9 doing? What's happening? Where are they going?
I think that they're gonna do okay. And that might sound unconvincing, but that's because I don't want to say it's blind hope. That's not the right phrase. So, okay. TL obviously I think can do pretty well early on, depending upon their matchups. C9, I'm pretty sure they've done the best at Worlds out of any NA team. And I don't see that changing. Technically, yes. I'm gonna take that technicality to the fucking bank, though, and you better believe that.
I mean, MSI Finals.
I didn't say internationally. I said at Worlds.
Okay.
I said at Worlds. At Worlds, I expect them to do okay. I have no idea, to be honest. I have not been paying attention to global teams. I have literally no idea what any other region looks like. So
they're all on fire. Everyone's on
really?
fire. Everywhere is just on fire. Nobody has any idea who's actually a good team, and nobody knows what's happening. I think Damwon Gaming are locked for Worlds off of points alone, but...
You know this about me? Like, I straight up actually don't watch other regions. Like, I have literally no idea what's going on.
I don't think anyone's locked from China, but I also don't think that their regular season's over either. So...
Yeah, but I just like I don't know enough about what's going on to be like, yeah, this is my read. So I'm gonna say TL and St. are gonna do fine, and I'm gonna ask you to fill a lot more time than I did.
So I'm honestly a little worried with how shaky they've looked. I think losing TSM as a major competitor with them and a major scrim partner has probably hurt a lot of the possible growth for both of these teams. Sure. I do think they've probably been their each other's scrim partner for the past like 6 months. Like they probably scrim 40% of the time with explicitly each other in this summer split, maybe even higher.
That makes sense though.
Like these. It's just that there's been like consistencies issues amongst them. I feel like it's less from C9 and more from TL. Like, but I also feel like it's TL getting kind of cocky and bored with being an NA kind of, and just kind of throwing it. Like they lost a game to Echo Fox, who is no longer in the league anymore. Like,
press F to pay respects.
Like I don't know how you lose that game and then go on to play Worlds. Now, to be fair, TSM has done that countless times where they lost to a low seed team and gone to Worlds, but
they've also lost to a low seed team and not gone to Worlds.
Yeah, they don't do well whenever they're like that either. Now, honestly, I'm pretty sure TSM has been more consistent with beating lower tier teams now than they have in the past, but I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't feel like going into MSI where I felt like our top 3 teams look crazy, like they look crazy close, and I feel like any 3 of them going would be a great team to send, and I feel like they have a possibility to make. I don't want to say a possibility to make top 4 at MSI because it's really easy to make top 4 at MSI, but they've really had a possibility to take a series against any of the other regions. I don't think I can say that this time. Especially because Worlds is a much bigger and, I don't want to say diverse, but I guess competitive event? I don't know. But then you've got the randomness that ends up coming from like wildcard regions, or emerging regions, that it's just kind of... like sometimes they just throw things out the wall. They just pick something random. They end up super funneling Nocturne to level 6 before like 5 minutes, and suddenly he's just ulting people to get kills early, and they just snowball from there. Yeah, that's how Gam actually stole everyone's hearts.
LOL.
Gigabyte Marines. They were some crazy.
I remember.
But yeah, I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel what I was feeling in MSI where I was really confident in A. Like, I don't know. It might just be because TSM's on the downturn, but I don't know. Are you confident in these 2 teams? Do you think they are?
I straight up don't have an answer to that because I don't know what their competition looks like. Like,
it's not even about their competition. It's like, would you be confident that these are our best
if you're
options,
telling me that,
and you don't think that
I think these are
anyone doing good?
I think these are our 2 best teams. Like, not ironically, and I'm not saying that because you're a TSM fan and I'm trying to flame you. Like, I actually just think C9 and TL look a little bit more consistent in general than TSM right now. I do think these are probably our 2 actual top teams. I do think we're seeing in the finals our 2 best teams this year. Not to imply that we generally don't, but if you're gonna tell me every other region is a dumpster fire, then like, yeah, I'm confident in them because like if everyone's on fire, then like fuck it, right? Like, but also I don't know, right? Like these teams have dropped weird games throughout the split. They've had weird moments of weird strats. I don't imagine either team is going to be busting out the peculiar picks on stage at Worlds, right? If they're not well practiced. You know, we've seen both teams, more C9, try those odd comps. Yes, well, crack, yes. I don't expect shit like that to be taken out at Worlds. That does feel more acceptable in the middle of a split when you're doing okay and you're in the top, right? Like, that's fine to drop a game, but it's less fine to drop a game at Worlds. You know, so, like, I do expect them to do all right. I don't have any gauge on where they might place.
Okay.
Sorry for my
moving on.
Was Weldon robbed for coach of the split, dude?
Before we get into this, I will acknowledge that Fake God won Rookie of the Split by what was that, a 25-point margin over Kumo, and then Kumo had a somewhere around 70-point margin over TSM Spica. Because I'm pretty sure those are the only available rookies. Oh, hang on. Soligo was apparently available, and Yasui were apparently available. I don't know. Rookie of the Split's such a joke reward. But was Weldon robbed? Coach of the Split. What do you think?
Who got it?
Went to
I
Kane,
already forgot.
TL's coach.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm sure Kane is actually an extremely good coach.
Weldon came in third, by the way.
I know. Ooh, wait, who is two?
Reaper.
Okay, that's weird for me. I think it is obviously true that Reaper and Kane are good coaches coaching good teams. But they're very good coaches still. But Weldon is good enough that he took a team that nobody was rating that highly and got them here. Like, that's crazy.
They're favorites for the world spot at the moment. The third world spot.
And they were not in the beginning of the split.
No, I wouldn't have called that at all.
No, I don't think we did. And so that, I think, is a very impressive act. I understand why Kane got it and why Reaper was up there. It's because it's also impressive to maintain a high-level team this long. But was he robbed? I don't want to say he was robbed, but he definitely could have won it, and I wouldn't have been surprised.
People seem to be voting for Kane because he hasn't won one yet.
He hasn't won it? That actually makes a lot of sense then.
But at the same time, this is like everyone. It's a chronic issue with all these voting where they don't take like the split to heart, and they kind of be like, who do they think really deserves to have this award at the moment? And they don't think, okay, who started from this position and got to this, like in reference to coach of the split, this would be like, who took this team that was not performing very well or was performing moderately well and turned them into a superstar team that's a playoff contender and looking to go to Worlds. Like that's a very specific application.
I think this is the case in a lot of sports too. I know that there have been a few times that MVP votes, I think in the NBA, and this is not MVP, this is coach of the split, but I think in the NBA there have been a few times where people are like, oh, this dude won MVP this year for his work last year, right? Like last year they gave it to someone else, and then they were like, oh, shouldn't have done that. And so he's getting it this year, and the guy who's going to get it this year is going to get it next. And like some people talk about a few, like little bits of the NBA or other sports. It's like, oh yeah, like this is just like what's going to happen for a few years because there were too many good people and people are getting it for all. So I get it. I don't think that's unique to this. Is it bad? Probably, like maybe. It depends upon how highly you really value that award. Because it doesn't really do anything. Like, it's a nice accolade, but it doesn't do anything. Right? Like, what does it get him? It doesn't get him a raise. It doesn't get him any...
I don't know what the prize money is, but it's real fucking tiny. And
no, that's what I mean. Like, this is like, it's a nice thing to get, but this is not like... It's not like this gets you a victory in the split or a bye at Worlds. So it's like, okay, cool. You know, Kane got it, and like he deserves it. Kane's a great coach. Kane coached well this split, I'm sure, but like I don't know. It's hard to like get annoyed about shit like this because I'm like, dude, it kind of doesn't matter.
I mean, sure, it doesn't matter, but at the same time, I want the awards to matter. I want these to be like.
But they don't, like in any sport.
I mean, especially looking at something like the NFL, where the MVP is like only given at the Super Bowl, and it's always one of those players, and it's always a quarterback, a running back, or a wide receiver, basically. Like, if you're not
because
one of those
they score points.
Yeah, if you're not one of those three roles, no one gives a shit about you. I'm sorry. So,
unless you play
fantasy, yeah, you either have
unless you're like absolutely far and away,
You have to
absolutely
be
nuts.
one of the best like safeties in the league or something, or like I don't know, someone who crazy on defense. That's the only other roles that I've ever seen that do impressive things.
Has there ever been a lineman get MVP?
I don't. No, I absolutely doubt that. Unless you get 15 sacks or something in a game, I don't see anyone like getting MVP on the line.
All right, that's a lot of quarterbacks and running backs, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
Imagine that this game, like football, was just quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers.
One linebacker in 86. There's no wide receiver on the list.
Really?
It's just quarterbacks and running backs and one linebacker, who is Lawrence Taylor, and fucking obviously Lawrence Taylor won that award. But anyway, this is not the point.
The point is I want these awards to matter, and I want.
There's no way to make
compared.
them matter though, because all they like Kane puts it on his resume, and that's dope. He gets a trophy, maybe. I don't know if the LCS
I'm pretty
does
sure
that.
He puts 4 LCS championships on his
First,
resume.
yeah. Listen,
I'm from the future.
Okay, fair. Listen, I agree, but like you still put coach of the split on your resume, obviously. But there's no way to make it matter because it does not do anything unless these awards start impacting your split, your placements, something like that. They will be not important. They will be important to the fans, and they'll be important in a sentimental way, but they won't be like mechanically important in terms of the split. And that's really what matters, is like winning games, right? Winning splits and winning Worlds games and winning the Worlds and MSI and stuff. So like it's hard to make these accolades matter. They're a way for people to show that they recognize your ability or recognize your talent or something, but like they're not super impactful. But anyway, I think we have to speed up because we dragged a while.
Hey, I don't think this is going to go too much longer. All right.
That's true. Who's MVP? It's Svenskeren. I also just don't know how much more we have to say about MVP because I think we just view these things differently.
Well, I mean, I agree that I think the MVP is Svenskeren. I think the second option is Nizzy, and I don't think there's anyone else who's really competing all that closely to them.
No, dude, Svenskeren's been crazy this split.
You can probably say Impact has been pretty strong.
Yeah,
and
no
maybe
doubt.
Ruin for bringing a lot of life to CLG, but I still don't think that Ruin or Impact have like been carrying a team as hard as Svenskeren and Nizzy have been. Like those two alone are crazy. That mid jungle synergy seems like it's going to be a big factor for that team, and I'm just wondering how that's going to play out. That's going to be a very fun thing to watch in the C9TL matchup.
I agree, especially because I think Xmithy and Jensen work really well together too. I don't know if Xmithy and Jensen have the best synergy on that team, but I think that they're both two top tier like mid jungle synergies, and it's going to be exciting to watch that unfold in the mid lane. But I think it's basically Svenskeren and Nizzy. I think Svenskeren has a little more of an edge, and I think that's.
Yeah, I think Svenskeren's the answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I don't. Look, if anyone's not picking Svenskeren for MVP, please
they're either picking Nizzy or they're trolling.
Please tell me why. Please leave a comment below and tell me why you think it's not Svenskeren.
And like, make sure it's a real argument and not just
don't just meme on me.
And then make sure it's not like, oh well, this guy plays jungle for my team, so he should win. That's not.
Don't say it's Meteors because he dragged Optic out of the gutter.
Although that's fair.
That's fair. That is fair. I will agree that he is probably in the top 10. I think it was actually in that like top 10 list for MVP that they put out. Oh wait, is that on this page? Wait. I think they've been cutting it down. If it's still here. No, it's not here. But they like released a top 10 list when they released the pro teams. Mm-hmm. And everyone was shocked that I think Bjergsen made that list, but I think Jensen didn't.
That's crazy.
That is a little crazy.
That's actually crazy.
I still don't.
Wow. That's unacceptable.
I still don't fully agree that Bjergsen is one of the top 3 mid laners this split. I think Bjergsen has been he's been so hit or miss this split for me, and
he's not. But that's okay.
I just don't see it.
He definitely is not better than Jensen, which means that if he's on the list and Jensen's not, that's crazy.
Yeah,
But,
well, again, it's MVP. There's a lot of different like
yeah,
philosophies about what exactly that means.
I think Jensen has been more pivotal to TL's success than Bjergsen has. Right. Well, I mean, Bjergsen's been pivotal to TSM's success, but I think that I don't know. I don't want to get mired in this because it doesn't matter who wins gauntlets.
All right.
Gauntlet
time. So, Gauntlet.
CLG wins.
The
Gauntlet.
strict positioning of Gauntlet is not defined, but
we do know
FlyQuest is last
things.
and TSM is first, and Clutch and CLG will possibly swap around depending on who wins this series, I think.
Yeah, so basically the first round is Fly versus whoever loses, so CG or CLG. CG. And finals is TSM versus whoever wins round 2. So whoever
So we're basically gonna have a best of 10. Or is that hang on, it's first to 6 wins. So that would be a best that is a best of 10. No.
Sure, I don't care.
It's a best of 11.
Who you got?
I'm gonna say. I don't know. I want to say that's gonna be a CLG TSM final.
I think that is what I'm picking as well.
And I think, given this time, and hopefully Spica's fresh, like I don't know, like freshness, like a different like viewpoint and a different like
a freshness.
I'm hoping that it'll.
The...
I'm just hoping that it'll reinvigorate the team's atmosphere and mentality, and they'll really be able to like improve over this time, and like actually nail it, and at least give me a full best of 5 if they disappoint me. And I just don't want to. I don't know. I want to say it's gonna go to full 5, and I don't know who's gonna win. I'm copping out.
Now, you said that that's what you want to believe, so tell me what you actually believe.
I said I wanted to believe that TSM are gonna grow, but I still think.
So then, what do you actually believe? If that's what you want to believe, what is the truth?
I still think it's gonna go to like all 5 games.
I think it's gonna
win.
I think it's gonna be TSM CLG finals. I do think it'll probably go to 5, maybe 4, but I would expect 5. I probably rate CLG a little bit higher, only because of their just performance at the end of the split. Like, yeah, they underperformed in playoffs, but you got to think about it like this. TSM has had a lot of time. CLG's also now had a lot of time, or will be having more time to work on their mental, analyze their mistakes, and even though they were weak in the first 2 games of the series, they came back real strong, right? Like, not strong enough, but like, it's not like they just rolled over every match. They did it at the beginning. It looked like nerves from a couple of players. It looked like a couple people who had been performing really highly were not performing at that same level anymore. But Weldon's a good coach. He's a sports psychologist, right?
Yeah, he's their head coach and sports psychologist. He's not a strategic coach.
No, but he's their head coach. He's a sports psychologist. This team has shown a really strong mental to climb to the heights that they did from where they started. I would not be surprised if we see CLG coming back with a vengeance in this gauntlet, because I think that they realize that they're capable of winning it and capable of going to Worlds. And
I also think Clutch is out of plays. I think they're out of everything in the tank. Think they hit the pick, and I think they have all
they're probably out of gas.
I think everyone has the read on them now.
I think that they might be able to beat FlyQuest, but they might not be able to, and I don't know. But I think it's finals.
I think everyone can beat FlyQuest blindfolded.
I think it's CLG, TSM, and I think CLG has a slight edge for me, but like you, I would not be surprised if TSM won.
Especially because they have time to improve with Spica now, whereas before they were running on very little time into playoffs.
Yeah.
Although I will say, if TSM had a bye, they might have been better. I don't know. It's hard to really say. One more.
It's hard to say because I don't think it was 100% the fault of Spica being new that they lost their games. Certainly, that might be part of it.
Spica looked okay, even.
Yeah, he did look okay, but you have to remember that like when Wiggly isn't like kind of nervous and playing back, Wiggly's very good. And Wiggly is a lot more experienced than Spica in the LCS, and so I kind of rate him a little more highly. That might just be like the fact that I've seen his play more, which might be unfair, but like,
All right. Our picks.
Are we not doing the preview?
That's the picks.
Oh shit, you're right. XD.
I actually forgot to display our results from before, but that's whatever. All right. So we're mostly in agreement, but Matt thinks this is gonna be a much closer finals than I do, and I absolutely think these are gonna be two smash fests. Wait.
Yeah.
God. Wait. Hang on. How did I do that? God damn it.
What did you do this time, you bum?
I have TL versus Clutch Gaming and CLG versus Optic.
How did you do this? You do it every week.
I don't know how I did this time. Hang on. Yeah, it's just very wrong. I don't know how I did that. That's amazing. Okay. Well, Optic is supposed to be Clutch Gaming. Clutch Gaming is supposed to be C9. I'm sorry, but I don't know how I fucking did that.
Why don't we take that down to avoid confusion?
Okay.
That just seems...
Alright. Either way. I think CLG and TL are gonna win.
Mm-hmm. But I've called 3-2 both series, and Anthony's called 3-1 both series.
Now, why do you think that Clutch Gaming and CLG are gonna have such a close series? Even especially looking at how exposed they got in the TL series.
Just because even though I did all that talking about, I think they're gonna come back strong and fight, and I could also see a world where CLG comes back not at true form, still a little weak. I'm really kind of just being generous because I did just watch Clutch pull TL to 5, and I think TL's better than CLG. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if Clutch can pull Liquid to 5 games, why can't they pull Counter Logic Gaming to 5, which is a team I view as rated below TL. So that's sort of my process on that one.
Okay, yeah. Now,
I mean, maybe you're right and they're out of gas, but
Now, for me, I just feel like both of these teams, I think C9 and Clutch are kind of outmatched and really kind of out of options, because it looks like TL is quite capable of reading their opponents, and while I think C9 definitely has more options than Clutch did, I don't think that they're immune to just getting outskilled by TL. I think number one, I think that these teams have been playing each other for a while. I think they have a really good read on what each other are capable of. I would bet money that they were primary scrim partners in the playoffs. So I'm thinking that TL, they might even be scrimming this week because they might not actually care about the outcome of the final that much, and they might just be like, all right, let's just see who wins.
They probably care about the outcome of the final.
Well, yeah, but it's only a seed difference.
Yeah, but I'm sure the teams want to win.
But I just think that.
Are you implying we're going to see one of those old curse games where they agree to split the prize money and then ARAM?
No, I don't think that's going to happen because the both teams would get kicked out of the league for that instantly.
Yeah.
But I just don't see C9 outskilling TL. I think TL have them outmatched in every lane besides mid jungle. And I think mid jungle is going to be the place that C9 have to make their advantages if they want to win. I would not be absolutely shocked if C9 actually end up taking this series. I just don't think that's how it's going to be based on what I've seen in the past.
I wanted to pick. I told you this before we started earlier today. We were playing a little bit of League of Legends. I told you I wanted very badly for me to be able to put down a C9 win. I don't really see it. I think TL's a little bit better. I do think C9's quite good. I put it TL 3-2. I, like you, would not be shocked, but would also be very excited to see C9 win. I just think that TL has a slight edge. Maybe since they've taken the 5 by CG, their confidence is shaken, but that doesn't sound likely considering who TL are. So I'm putting it 3-2 just because I think C9's capable of taking it to 5. I think thoroughly capable. I would like it to go to 5, and I would obviously like C9 to win. I just think a TL win, coming off 3 straight split wins, coming off a victory and a bye, I just think it's a little more likely for TL to win, although I wish and I hope C9 wins. Does that make sense?
Mostly.
Which parts didn't? No.
You gotta pay attention when you talk.
Yeah, that hurt, but it's true.
Alright, we're out of topics.
You want to take us on home?
I think I will. Thanks for watching.
You want to take us on home?
Thanks for watching the semifinals.
Yep.
Yes, the semifinals of the 2019 LCS Summer Split. You can catch us live at twitch.tv/NizzyTV11 on Mondays at 7 p.m. I don't know what's gonna happen for Worlds, so we'll figure that out later.
We'll figure that out soon. We'll have a conversation about it after Clash.
Catch the VODs on my YouTube channel. Have a nice day.